So hi everyone and welcome to the Rideshare podcast. You're with Reese and Alex from Rideshare.
How's it going, everybody?
And today we have George. He's here to tell us his experiences driving Rideshare. We're just going to ask him a few of his questions about the Rideshare industry as it stands today, his sort of main suggestions on how it can be fixed, and just to talk about Rideshare in general.
How long have you been driving for?
Between 18 and 2 years, yes.
Cool. So pretty much 2 years.
Yeah.
And what were you doing in your past life?
Oh,
just quickly.
I'm a civil engineer, and I've been working for large projects, and I've had my own construction company, so I'm pretty full on what's the requirement from the client and also from the owner of the...
And obviously being in that line of work, you understand, customer service and providing a good service to your customers.
I've been going for nearly 18 years with my own construction company.
Yep.
And since I was or retired, you could call it, I went on with the rideshare companies.
So this for you is just a bit of a supplementary income.
Basically, just to keep my mind occupied, because I'm a workaholic, so I can't stop working, even if it's rideshare. And I'd like to meet people and please them as much as I can and get either to the destinations wherever they want.
Absolutely. We find that's actually a pretty common trend with drivers. They enjoy talking to people, they enjoy driving, they need something to do. It all just kind of makes sense. As a sort of standard, what sort of shifts do you work each week?
Yeah, probably be between 9 and 10 hours at least per day.
Okay.
That's every day.
Every day?
Every day.
As an engineer, I assume you've probably done the math then.
I certainly have.
Do you want to give us the figures you've...
For myself?
Yeah.
Probably $5 an hour. That's
$5 an hour. Wow, that's...
It's ridiculously low. It's horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific. A lot, as I said, and that is working hard. The riders abuse the system. They abuse the system. I can just give you a very quick example. Last night, I was just going home and I got a call. I said, I always pick up everybody. I don't leave anyone behind. Doesn't matter what, if they're short, long, or whatever it is. I pick them up, and then she said, I'm only going to Macca's, and I'm coming over from Macca's back to here. I said, have you put it in the... I said, no, I can't do it. So I'm just taking it to Macca's, and then from there on we'll see what I can do. I said, never mind, we'll just go to Macca's. We'll just sit there, 3 or 4 cars in front, all this. I got back, and she didn't change it. She didn't know how to change it. So I drove her back home, and I got $4.68. I mean, come on. That was nearly 3/4 of an hour trip. And as I said, she was nice, but, you can't survive like that.
No.
Luckily, it was the last trip home. So
that's less than the delivery fee in Uber Eats.
And you were saying that you accept every job regardless, and
yes, I do.
I'm sure that's in part sort of your professionalism and your personality, but it's also because of the way that your driver score is so heavily affected whether you start cancelling trips.
Correct.
You mentioned earlier that you actually have obtained a 4.97 score as a driver, and that's out of 5, so that's pretty incredible. That's
is that platinum on Uber?
Oh no, this is for Diddy.
Oh, Diddy. Okay,
this
cool.
is for Diddy.
Pretty
That's
good.
Pretty high.
Better than most
Absolutely. Yep.
You're actually telling us that you were recently suspended because of a one of these complaints on New Year's Eve. Did you want to maybe just talk to us about that?
I can assure you that happened in the New Year's Day. For whatever reason, I got in. They said safety. That was Diddy. They turned around and said, because of safety reasons, we've suspended you until we get together and find out who, if you're at fault or if you're not at fault. They suspended me. In other words, I was guilty before I could prove myself innocent, which is the wrong way around. Yeah. This is not the law in Australia. The law in Australia is that you're innocent until you're proven guilty, not guilty until you're proven innocent. So that was wrong. Secondly, the rider was not suspended, so he has no repercussions for dobbing somebody in or saying something without knowing that he's going to be penalised.
Baseless accusations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they could accuse you, and yet they get away with it, and yet the driver is penalised. And that's his source of income.
Yeah.
You know,
And when you say suspended, that means you're completely cut off on the app. So you
in
can't
other words, you can't
drive.
get onto the app. You can't get onto the app.
In essentially the busiest period
It
of the year.
It was absolutely not fair.
And this is
I'm
while
glad you guys are up here
this
now
is
for
while
that.
you held a 4.97 score, and they still penalised you.
Exactly, Reece. That's exactly right. This is where it's all wrong. And it took, nearly 5 days, 6 days before they came back. They said, yeah, we've checked it all out, and yeah, you're back on the app again. But if you do it, you'll be definitely off the app in total.
That's crazy.
Oh,
So what was actually
4.97, where am I going wrong?
Yeah.
It must be something. It
So
can't be me.
one-
It must be the rider. You understand what I'm saying?
One sociopathic rider can essentially destroy your income.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, pretty much all 3 rideshare companies that are here always generally take the side of the rider.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, people just get into the car, and they get on the phone, and they're on the phone, talking on the phone all the way through. And then at the end of the day, they give you a low rating. How do they
It's
know
crazy.
what they're doing?
Well,
They're on the phone.
One of the things that's always bothered me about the rating system is out of the 5 stars. People think of it like a movie, where a 5-star movie is an amazing movie, but a rideshare trip is just taking you from point A to point B.
Correct.
It should just be, yes, that was fine, or no, there was a negative experience. Not a rating out of 5. It's
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, 5 is a bit high. I better give him a 4.
Yeah,
because
they
3."
they think of it like a movie.
and yet your rating starts to drop because of that.
4 stars will actually reduce your
Yeah.
rating.
And so what was actually required for you to clear your name? And after
Nothing,
after
I've
it
just
was
spoke.
cleared, did they even
How long did it take? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and
it
did they
as
offer
I said,
an
it took
apology?
nearly
Was there any type
five
of
days. I think 5 or 6 days.
5
It took
days.
5 days to come back with. Actually, I had to go into the office, and then afterwards, I had to talk to somebody from the organisation before they could do anything about it. They didn't do anything until I went to the office.
Pretty obvious that the actual star rating, or the driver rating that you're working for, is incredibly one-sided. It doesn't seem to really, although it might give you better features on the app and rate you as a better driver, it doesn't
Protect
it
you.
doesn't protect you in any way. It doesn't
No.
give you more of a say. It doesn't even prove to them that you are a good driver.
Well, that was
which is
my-
the point of the rating in the first place.
Correct, Reece. That's my arguments with them. I said, how can I don't know what the rider's rating was, but I'm sure it wasn't 4.97. It wasn't anywhere near that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they take their side. I mean, come on.
Well, that's one thing that's always bothered me is riders that give constant negative reviews are not handled. Because if you're giving 1-star reviews every time, you're the problem, not the other person.
Yeah.
But it doesn't appear to me that the rideshare companies take that into account.
No.
And I think the rideshare companies kind of like the fact that the app penalizes the drivers and keeps them in line.
Yeah.
What's just to have a bit of a light moment, what's the funniest experience you've ever had?
The funniest experience.
Or the weirdest?
I picked up this guy. He was pushed into the car
Oh,
by
God.
his mates.
Yep.
Take him home. He's drunk. I made the wrong decision in taking him. Anyway, I took him to the. Even he went to sleep. I said, "Oh, well, it's fair enough. He had a few to drink." Unfortunately, it wasn't just a drink. He was also on pills.
Oh,
As
God.
soon as I got to the destination, he wouldn't wake up. He just will not wake up. I got out and tried to drag him out of the car, trying to wake him up. No chance whatsoever. So I kept pulling him. He was a big guy. Pulling him. I got him out of the car. Finally, I said, he was on the floor basically, and all of a sudden he gets up. He wakes up, looks at me, gets into the car again, and closes the door again. I said,
God.
"Oh my
Oh,
God,
no.
what have I got here?" Then he started to climb from the back of the seat into the front of the car, knocked the mirror, did all sorts of things with his. He was a big guy, as I said,
Yeah.
on a little car. It was a big thing. Anyway, and he says, I'm not where I'm supposed to be." I said, "Well, that's what you've got in the app." He says, "Well, I didn't put it in. It was his mates." put his address in, which it was probably incorrect. Well, it was incorrect. He said, that's not my place. And he said, then he kept going. I mean, this is going on for nearly an hour and a half, not 5 minutes. And it was trying to get him out. And then he says, not my place. You take me where I have to go. So I said, which way shall he? He said, go that way. So as I was driving, he grabbed the steering wheel and says, no, this way. So, it was dangerous. It was really dangerous. And we're talking about this guy. And the reason why it wasn't the right address, because the other guys put his address in, not him, because he was intoxicated and full of pills. So I took him to the destination. I said, I've got a guide or this, that. And finally, he did get out, and I took off at 100 miles an hour. I just couldn't bear it being there. And I went straight home because I said, what am I doing? As I said, I'm a very conscious, doing the right thing person. And I went home and I was sick. Said, why do I have to go through all this? There's no need for that to be treated like that.
Yeah.
So I've learned, that was one big lesson I've learned. If they can walk in, they can't walk out, so don't pick them up.
But it's not entirely safe for you at the time. You don't know who you're going to be picking up. And then you get there. There's obviously this man has got a bunch of mates that you said. It's almost, it becomes dangerous for you to even object at the scene, because now you're, pretty severely outnumbered and you can't do anything about it. There really isn't enough to protect drivers. That's the sort of common thing we're seeing.
Absolutely. And I think you've got to have a camera in the car.
That was going to be my next question for you. Because one of the things we want to make standard is like the two-way dash cams.
Yes.
So you get the benefit of the dash cam for insurance purposes, for car accidents, but also against
inside.
the riders.
The problem with that, inside, you can only pick up the passenger on the left-hand side. Unless you've got a real good camera that picks up the rear too.
You can get a nice device that gives you a bit of a 180 degree perspective.
Yeah.
Kind of like a police body cam. I think it should be required. Funnily enough, in Australia, in WA, the legislation had changed for taxis that they had to have these all-encompassing cameras built into them. And then, of course, Uber hit and no one catches taxis anymore. Well,
back to you said you actually had a good story as well. So, that was what's your best experience through driving?
The good stories. I mean, I was at a music festival in Joondalup, and I get a call from the Nib Stadium to go to Joondalup resort. So I said, where are we going? He said, we're going to, where was it? The Vines. Yeah. So I picked him up, and on the way there I said, are you hungry? He said, well, yeah. I said, because, after a bit of alcohol, you need something to eat. So he says, I said, we want to go through Macca's. He says, yeah, that's, I think that'll be a good idea. So he was very sad. He looked very sad. So that's why I offered him that. I said, this guy's not having a good time. Anyway, so I go to Macca's. I ordered, I said, whatever you wanted. And he went to pay. I said, no. I said, this is on me. I said, I drove all the way here. I'm at home. The fare is about $30 or $25. And I said, what's $5, $10? It's nothing. He said, oh, yeah, thanks. Anyway, I took him home, dropped him off, went home. Next morning, I had on the comments, from Uber.
Yeah.
And he says, I was having one of my worst days of my life. And this guy offered me dinner. He says, it made my day. So that was a good feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't ask for money, and yet, this guy appreciated it. These are the things that people don't realise. There are drivers out there that do care.
Yes.
And this is the reason for my high rating, I suppose.
Of all these sort of issues that you're outlining here, what would be the least fair sort of feature of these sort of ride-sharing apps?
The rate of their commission. That's the biggest drawback.
You can get over the other stuff.
It kills the driver. The Uber I started off with 15% commission, then 25%, then 27.5%, and now I'm paying 30%.
You're paying 30%?
30%. And I'm saying, what the hell is going on,
So you've actually been one of our keenest supporters from the start with Rideshare. You've been, spreading our message, trying to talk to other drivers about it. What's the general sort of feedback you get from drivers when you speak about it?
Very good feedback. Talk to riders about the Rideshare, and they said we will gladly join up, especially if it's a WA app, and it's for WA people for now.
Yeah.
He says, would love to do that. We'll drive to go and give more to the drivers, and they will look after us better. I said, oh, there you are. No, that is a
Well, the
true fact, because let's say Uber and Didi do not care about them. That's exactly what they're saying.
Rideshare is a co-op, so the drivers will actually own a share themselves of the company, and help it
Grow.
be a part of its organization
Yeah.
and operations, and they'll take more of a share of the company the more they drive for it.
Yeah.
So it's
It feels part of the family.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
Something
that's
to work
what
for.
and that's
Yeah.
what the Rideshare should be all about.
We plan to take it worldwide in not actually operationally, so we're not going to fly over the world and roll it out. We're going to open source the actual platform we build, so it'll be available to anyone else who wants to start their own cooperative.
Yeah.
It would be limited to cooperatives. So
Yeah.
I think we've covered everything, and thank you so much for coming down and
giving us an insight into the the opinions and the way that the drivers are feeling about rideshare as it stands today.
yeah. And your experiences. There's you must deal with a lot of strange people every day.
And can you imagine that's after 2 years, and then if some drivers that might have been driving for 5-10 years, it'd just be that's what you're being called on to do as a day to day, and it's pretty eye opening.
Yeah.
All right.
As I said, I'd like to express what I have and what I've experienced.
Yeah.
And being a professional person, I like to do things right. I don't like to cheat because it's against my principle. And the good drivers get hurt by bad riders, and your rating drops. For what?
Yeah.
Because they had too much to drink, and your face didn't look right. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. And yet they penalise you. Like for instance, did it penalise you for not
With
doing
no
anything
with
right?
no
and yet
recourse. Yeah.
you're guilty before you're innocent.
And that is
That's
Ride
bullshit.
Fair's really core value, is to bring fairness back to this
Fantastic, guys.
rideshare
I'm
economy.
really looking forward to it. No bullshit. I'm, as I said, I'm very keen because I had my own business, and I know how you guys are taking off, and without a lot of funds behind you, and you're trying to do the best you can. But once you get going, I'm sure you're gonna skyrocket. I really do.
Thanks, George. That
appreciate
means
it.
a lot.
I
Yeah.
feel good about you guys, and I really do. I got that feeling.
And support
And,
from the drivers
and
that
it's so easy.
that helps us.
Yeah, and it's so easy for the riders. As soon as I tell them you ride fair, they said, "Oh, yeah, what's that fair?" I said, "Yep, it's ride fair. You fair riding. That's what you're going to be. You're going to be better off. We're going to be better off." Which, definitely we'll go for you guys. There you are,
I think,
guys. I'm really
we'll
really
call it
impressed
here,
with you
so-
guys. Let's move forward, eh?
Yeah.
Thank you,
George. Thank you so much.
Alex. Okay.
Really
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
Really great to meet you.
Thank you, Reese.